with
German Warfare Fesh.
Lightfoot Freddy, hello.
Hi, talking.
Spitfire.
And we're going to talk about the .17 patch and how we feel about it. I do believe there are some strong feelings in the room, and I'm going to let everyone else take their strong feelings first. So whoever wants to go right ahead.
I think Dig a Hole has the biggest points. Please.
Yeah. Go dig a hole, go.
Well, first of all, the VBR. I don't know what they were thinking, but it feels like a turtle on speed, really, because the thing doesn't move at all, really, and it doesn't have smoke. And I baptized the VBR as the vibrator. It tickles you in all the right places, but still it's not, not as good as the real thing. But
Yeah, compared to different AFVs around it, it lacks something special. It's not the fastest. It's the fastest, but it doesn't get the speed into the game. It's not the most agile. It's not the one with a big gun. It's not a very good package at all. It doesn't feel correct.
The missiles seem to hurt a lot, but with the 4-second delay, especially with tanks that have APS, using missiles in PvP only is always an issue. I haven't played it with autocannon, so if either of you guys could talk about it, that'd be great. How it performs with the autocannon and stuff.
Well, the gun performs quite well, but it still remains. You cannot hit and run. You cannot simply state, I am emptying my clip. I'm not as maneuverable as the VBL who can turn circles around the tank. If you do that with this thing, the tank will have a field day, because he will simply, the turning circle is the size of Manhattan. I mean, it really, it's a PvE vehicle at best. And also, yeah, the rockets are good, actually, quite good actually. But the rest is really not as good as the other AAVs, definitely not.
So I was also told that because it has the rockets only, if you're playing PvP, it can't, like everything where you take the rocket instead of the machine gun, you can't defend yourself.
Actually, yeah, that was also promised, I think, that we would get with the ATGMs also a gun to at least protect yourself. And you don't even get that, and you don't have to smoke. That makes it a scout, because it has quite good vision range, but at best.
The way it's being described to me, because I haven't personally played it, but the way it's been described to me by yourself and other players, I would think it's just a TD with view range.
Yeah, that's correct.
So here's a question to everyone who would play it. Would you rather have that or a BMD4?
BMD4.
Absolutely BMD4.
BMD4 all day long.
Because it has an autocannon and it's fast, right?
It
I'll
has
take a
all
BMP.
three. It's all three. It has all three. So you can pick and you can play it, that's the BMD4.
And
Okay.
because, and the thing I've noticed with this, particularly with people who now have the ability to, instantly switch from missile to autocannon, is there's a lot of AFV drivers who are either acting like missile boats or making horrific decisions.
True.
They're like, oh, I don't have any time between missiles, and will stop in front of a main battle tank thinking they can take it head on.
Yeah, that's happening right now, and that's maybe getting used to. But I don't think people will simply take this long time in between ATGMs. It's simply too long. And especially with a vehicle who doesn't have any kind of other protection, so that you can switch back, like the T15 or the BMD4, the same. If you have one system failing on you, or you have to wait reload, you switch over to the other one, and still you can use smoke. You can protect yourself.
The lack of smoke is a big pain in the ass.
It's a big pain in the ass, yeah, exactly.
So, on a limb, if a VBO rushed the VBR, The VBR will probably kill the VBL, but it will likely lose a lot of its health in the process.
I
because it
doubt the
just can't-
VBR would even kill the VBL.
It might. I mean, all it takes is just one good missile hit to kill it. But
True.
it's got a 4-second thing. Like the other people have said, it's not that agile. The VBL will probably might even rip it to shreds on some occasions. I think something people want to touch down is the no delay between cannon and missile is kind of not a good idea. As I mean, me personally, I've had several occasions where I can literally just fire off the missile, then just start auto cannon people, fire off the missile again, with
True.
no switch between them.
Yeah, you can do that. That's true. But if you don't have that possibility on your vehicle, like the VBR, then you're simply, well, you're effed.
So
Simple as
in
that.
short, it's a massive buff for AFEs that have a missile and gun combination, and not really that much of a difference for vehicles that just have missiles only.
Correct.
Correct, yeah, correct. And don't get me wrong, the missiles on the VBR are quite good. And I played also the 1134, and I must say, you know, the speed that which the rocket leaves the launcher, it's okay, it's really good, but the delay in between, you only have 2 rockets on 1134. You have no means of defense. You have smoke, but you cannot defend yourself. So this 4 seconds are killing you. So the 11.
Well, the 4 seconds are killing you. The other thing that's killing it is you can't, as you put it, come in, dump, and leave. There's no hit and run anymore.
No.
Do you guys know what hill humping is?
Excuse me, what?
No.
Have you ever played MechWarrior Online?
No,
Yeah.
no, sorry.
No. Well, there's a tactic people use. It's called hill humping. It's when it's where the vehicles with the highest guns and the best gun depression go on top of a hill. They quickly fire their guns, shoot at someone, and then back down again. You can kind of do that with AFEs, and it makes shooting AFEs, especially with the no setup time, sometimes even overpowered in that case, where they've spotted someone, they fire a missile, then they quickly duck back down again.
Okay.
No, I never heard of that. tactic.
I had a fox do that to me yesterday.
So it's just like a faster version of hull down playing.
Yeah,
Sounds like it, yeah.
but since they have 0 setup time and they're firing the missile and just hoping that the rocket is going to hit the target without guidance.
No, it will. I mean, literally, the missile speed time, you can just hit people before they even realise you're there. I've done it. It's kind of funny and kind of broken at the same time.
Well, I don't think that you will get away with this in this game. I don't know. I never used it this way, but
In the Lords of War, you can see people doing this, but not especially going on top, firing and getting back. They're just steamrolling everyone with 4 or 5 BMPs, reaching
Yeah,
over the top of a hill, firing the missiles and leaving. And that's
Wow.
kind of the same game. But I don't know if this is working like intended.
I will say the one thing that is working like intended: the extra smoke grenades on all the vehicles.
yeah,
Oh, they're nice, yeah.
That has significantly changed gameplay. I'm now seeing players actually hit smoke repeatedly
Maybe
instead of just not using
Maybe
it.
it's the same players as before, but they hit the smoke button much more often.
yeah,
The
but
problem
you
being is that you have too many smoke grenades and not enough time to use them.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that, like, it's usually at least a minute before you encounter the enemy in PvP, and
But
if you have 15 smoke grenades and the match is 15 minutes long with 45 seconds between smoke, you're not going to use 15
Yeah, but-
grenades
yeah,
ever.
but it's also, I think, intended to let's say, encourage team play more. So if you team
yeah.
up, you can simply say, okay, I'm using smoke, and then I'm off for 45, 30 seconds. And then the other person in your team can then use smoke. So you do it overlappingly, then you do it as a team. And then it will work as intended, I think.
Yeah, and this is a good counter for HGMs
Yeah.
on long distances.
Yeah.
But the fire steamroll teams, you can't stop the smokes.
That's true. That's true.
And you're talking about Lords of War. I mean, it's something. Like, a lot of teams have figured out the overpowered combinations to be using right now, and it's just spams of those combinations of BMPs over and over again.
Well, changes will come to this game. That's already been announced, but I'm a little bit afraid about they are announcing quite big changes. And you see already in dispatch what's happening now. The saltiness is really, it's quite tough.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm a very positive person in general, and what I'm seeing on forums, people that normally don't complain about nothing, and now all suddenly opening their mouth and say, "What have you done to the game?" And I don't know.
Well,
I think was the right timing or not. I don't know.
This is the first patch of rebalance, supposedly.
Mhm.
There's still supposed to be 2 more rebalance patches.
Yeah, I know. That scares me a little bit.
People will always whine about something. People don't like
Yeah.
change.
True. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Actually, I'm gonna quote something from Silent Stalker. Wine never changes. But this is the first patch for this. Things can be changed, and people seem to think that this will just be set in stone for the rest of the game. I doubt it will. There's a reason why there's 15 smoke grenades. So they thought it's better to do with the maximum number of smoke grenades first, rather than giving everyone 2 or 3. So they can figure out how many are being used and what's the best number.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm really kind of looking at the VBR and going, you have no place here. The Warrior, like, back onto the VBR subject, because I didn't comment on it, the Warrior outdoes you with the autocannon all day long, and the Ramka is going to beat you with missiles and has more armor than you, so it can use them more effectively. So what's the point of you?
If it was a gun missile combination, I think it would be fine, but
exactly.
But separately, I think, to be honest, it's always a bad idea. I mean, the Crab, what are the vehicles that can only mount one or the other? It's the Crab, the Weasel, the VBL and the VBR. All of them always go with the cannons, because at least you can defend yourself. I mean, there's alright, of course, being a support weapon, but this is a PvP game where most of the time teamwork doesn't exist. You need to be able to support yourself.
True. But I thought it was promised. I thought it was like kind of that's what we all understood probably also, that we would get both. If you go for the ATGMs only, you would get a gun to at least you can defend yourself, similar something like that. But that was something that I hear more, I'll read more on the forums, that people say the same. How should I defend myself?
I mean, if you go with if you go with the missiles, you're taking the risk that your team is going to defend you.
Yeah, but we all know how that works. Teamwork.
What's that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're with your own clan or something, okay, then it will work for sure. I know that for a fact. I mean, when I play with my own clan, you cover each other's butts, and it will work. But in PvP, simple, no, it will not work.
I mean, I get they want to encourage team-based gameplay. I can understand that, but they also have to understand that 80% of the player base is still not going to understand that I have 15 people with me who are on my team.
Yeah.
It's not really a team game. I mean, I'm going to quote World of Tanks, but it's a game where it's you versus 29 people, and 14 of them you get punished for shooting at them.
Yeah, that's nicely said.
I mean, you can encourage teamwork all day long, but people are not going to give a shit, because in the end, the rewards are based on how you perform. and climbing up that ladder and using the other people and using the other people as props is how you do well in the game.
Yeah. Oh, well, exactly. I mean, if they want to encourage team play, then I want to talk or say something completely different. Why is there no button in the game instead of only venting negative shit? Why can we not simply compliment the player on his good play?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's what I'm missing. I'm feeling like I had a guy last week. I was playing PvP, and he really did his utmost. We lost, but he carried really.
Okay.
And
I've asked Firo and Silence Talker this for ages,
yeah,
and most answers were because it's misused by certain players. Such features always will lead to misuse, and of course,
Well,
you
even
can
reporting
misuse.
features are misused, but the vast majority of the uses would be for the intended use.
I mean, yeah, more positive than negative, I think.
Did not hit the button quick enough, and I realized that an M8 would do more damage. Oh well.
And that still annoys me. This M8 really coming around the corner and immediately shooting you half of your health away. By the way,
And they're
what
always
do you
100%
think, guys?
accurate.
Sorry. What do you guys think of the? I don't know if you play PvE, but the map Snakebite.
I don't think I've played it.
I haven't got a chance to play the new one
Well,
yet.
I played it and I played it a lot, and honestly, great work on the map. It's simply ghost field, turn around, and well, you have got other objectives.
Oh,
but
that one. Yeah, I've played it. I just didn't remember. I have a horrible memory.
but I was playing. Sorry, Fash. I was playing this today with my tier 6 Terminator, and I encountered tier 9 vehicles shooting half of my hit points away. And even the guys, when I was playing it, we were 5 of us and not in known to another whatsoever. And everyone's like, question mark, what is happening in this game? Suddenly,
so the issue of AI PvE being so many tiers higher than you, but being counted as say like the Armata being counted right now as a tier 9, but sometimes it'd be a tier 8 or something. So you'd meet that and it takes off half your health, and you're just like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, no, that happened not once. No, it happened like, okay, different game. Again, similar happens, and people are asking, losing more PvE battles than I did in entire months.
What was the win rate that we had for PvE?
Apparently, the average win rate for PvE hard is 50%.
Yeah.
Most people I see, it's like 90% or above. I think mine's sitting on 93 or something.
Yeah, mine was actually a 90 until the patch, and they did something to the mechanics. I don't know what. Maybe I can feel some people out and telling or asking if they can enlighten us. But this is really different, completely different, and everything is dead on. They hit you while you're, for instance, for other tanks, they bounce on you. The M8 comes around the corner, not even looking at you, immediately, bam,
snaps turret, and boom, you just take 600 damage.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's, I hate to say it, it's also been because of the people's experiences in PvE, it's now triggered them in PvP, because if I'm in a light tank, doesn't matter what's near me and what else is spotted, suddenly 3 guns are pointed at me.
True. But there is something else going on, the matchmaking. The matchmaking in PvE. You can think of two things. Okay, there are not enough players who have MBTs or whatever. If I look at a mission of PvE that I want to play, I'm thinking, okay, I can better take a heavy tank, an MBT, or I can take here an AFV, or I can take a TD, whatever. I was in the game 3-4 times. I was simply with 5 AFVs and on stormy winter. Can you imagine? And I don't know if you are known in PvP, but 5 AFVs. And people are like, okay, that's nice matchmaking. We lost big time, really. Because you simply lose. Some people still don't know that you should, when you cap, still warn the other people, because then you get surrounded by enemy tanks and you get shot to pieces. As simply as that. So a lot has changed in the game. And not, don't get me wrong, I still love the game, but the matchmaking is funny in PvE then, of course. And of course, yeah, the whole DBR thing, it's ridiculous.
Do you
And
think the
and
best
peop-
response would be a hard cap? So like a maximum of AFVs or MBTs being allowed? to
Yeah,
defend,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need one MBT. You
At
gotta
least.
have it.
Yeah, exactly. And it also forces you to team play, eh? If you're with 5
Yep.
people. It forces you to play together, because now you have 5 individuals in AOVs who are going to fly around and don't do the secondaries, don't do the objectives. You simply lose. That's how it is. And I think indeed what Sophie was saying, that's simply one MBT, simply a proper matchmaker. Obviously,
I
guys,
mean,
don't underestimate PvE, because a lot of people play it, and that's why a lot of people came over from World of Tanks because of the PvE content, and that's a fact. I mean, that's proven actually. So
There's a lot of posts on the forum that says that, oh, PvE players are awful and they shouldn't be allowed in the game and we should have a separate tech tree and stuff. I'm just like, what? No. People's attitudes towards PvE is kind of like
yeah,
like it's
degrading.
like it's a
Degrading.
second class.
It's
of
absolutely
people,
not
you
true.
know.
Yeah,
It's toxic.
yeah,
It is, and I do all my best to lock those threads and tell those people, dude, just shut up. It's
Even
let
in
people
game.
play what they want to play. If you want to come here to play PvE, that's fine.
and
you can bring one point or one point to the discussion. In World of Tanks, everybody has to play PvP. In Armored Warfare, you have the choice to not do this. I'm not a friend of PvE. I don't like PvE. I don't play it. I'm just straight PvP. And my only PvE missions are with you guys. But for me, it's as being a little bit salty in the next sentence. This keeps the tomato off the track. So we don't have players with no expertise or experience playing PvE anymore. Because many of them just go back to PvE and maybe train a little bit, learn how to play, and maybe they stick to PvE, or maybe they come back to PvP. But you don't have to die through the tiers to get a bigger tank in PvP, just like WT.
I want to comment on that, what Fesh just said. So that means what you're saying, actually, if I look at the PvP, people playing in PvP at the moment, if this is the selective people of World of Armored Warfare, then I will flush them to the toilet right away. Because the PvE people, like let's say that now, I don't want to really set them apart, but the PvE people have at least the courtesy to greet each other, to play with each other. And you're 5 men and you're depending on each other, and it works better than in PvP. Rest
Okay.
my case.
That's
Without clans, without clans, of course. I mean, it's
but there coming two things together. First, you only have 5 versus 5, and you don't have an enemy team.
I
if-
think that that part of the appeal of PvE to PvP is the lack of competing against another person.
yeah,
Yeah.
saltiness.
A lot of people don't always feel that, you know, if another person kills me, they didn't earn it. But if a freaking bot kills me, I screwed up.
Okay. That may be, but if you see who's playing on the enemy team, and it's a famous clan playing on the enemy team, you just stick your head into the sand and say, "Oh, fuck it, we lost."
No.
No, but many people in PvE, PvP do this, and for doing this, it's a big big mistake,
Mhm.
big failure. And if you only play 5 versus bots, you don't have to argue with enemies. You only can argue with yourself. But I read enough of the forums to see that people complaining about players in PvE also.
Yeah, true, of course.
So
But we are people, we are humans, and that will never change. But I'm playing also PvP, and I'm playing PvE, and it made me maybe even a better player. I can tell you honestly. By playing also PvE, and in PvP, yeah, made me a better player. Absolutely.
I can
Yeah.
also say that part of PvE, you have a chance to learn weak points, whereas
Yeah.
in PvP, it's snap decision right now. You're not going to be given a chance to really analyze the opponent you're shooting at, which is a learning experience. And for me personally, I enjoy both modes for different reasons. PvE is more about what can I do and what can I make this vehicle capable of? What new thing can I learn about the tank I'm driving? And PvP is more applying that knowledge to do something.
It's also the best way to play with your subscribers as well. I mean, with PvP, we can only get like one other person. With subscribers, we can get like 3 of them in, and just have fun.
Yeah.
And I've noticed a lot more of my subscribers want to play PvE, and I'm like, okay, well, it's not as interesting to watch unless you. But when people get on TeamSpeak and start making jokes and having fun, then it's entertainment.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. That's the same with us. We have with the clan. Sometimes we are so salty about the PvP that evening, and we're switching. We're making platoons and we're going into a PvE game, and having indeed a lot of laughs together playing. And yeah, I think it's always going to be personal, but on forehand, condemning someone to be a tomato or a paprika, whatever vegetable you want to call it, like what happened in World of Tanks, that people were simply by this XVM bullshit about you're a tomato and you suck. Yeah, okay.
I'm very glad we won't have XVM in.
Oh, really? Because if that happens, I immediately delete and uninstall. Really, because this is not. That's why PvE is it's keeping those two worlds separate, and you still see it in PvP, and a lot of saltiness.
See, the XVM system only adds the level of saltiness and causes people to prioritize oftentimes the wrong target because the player is better statistically than to shoot at the target that is either easier to kill or the more threatening target. Like, I can be playing a tier 8 light tank in World of Tanks, and there'll be a tier 10 who's rear on, and they'll shoot at me because I have a 3018 and the tier 10 tank destroyer with the 180 gun has 800.
Yeah.
Or like, you're in an M6 with a stock gun and you're in a tier 8 game, you have the best stats on the team and all their artillery immediately shoots at you even though you have no threat whatsoever. Because you're the one with the pop shooter.
Yeah.
I can also say that from my experience with this game recently, the update to missiles, it has made AFV players be willing to be more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good thing.
True.
But they need to learn to be more dangerous in a controlled way.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, you have the same settings in PvE, and what I noticed for myself is I'm not certain enough about a certain vehicle to go immediately into PvP, so I will first play it in PvE and learn all the little things about my vehicle, new vehicle.
Yep.
And I think that's a plus in this game, going from PvE and that you then slightly go into PvP. I joined the clan just for that reason, that I also want to play PvP and learn it. I have shitty reflexes because I'm disabled, and I cannot simply, like now, I was talking to you guys and I'm standing in my 1128, boom, I'm gone, because I cannot do both at the same time. And well, it goes, but not as good as I want to. Anyway, but it has improved, like say like that. Anyway.
Yeah, I
What's
use
another?
PvE as a testing ground as well for new tanks.
Yeah, and I think it's a good one. It's a good for people who are indeed not as good or new to the game even.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're gonna buy tier 8 in the premium shop or whatever, and they immediately go into PvP. Uh-oh, that's not good. It's not gonna happen. It's like in World of Warships, you get on World of Tanks the same, buying a tier 8, not have a single clue or experience in the game whatsoever, and then immediately go into the PvP, killing. So, I think it's a good, yeah, it's good that it's in the game, PvE.
Of course,
And
and it brings something special to this game.
yeah, but there is no other game like this. I mean, in this way, PvE.
So would you guys say that if they bring back the insane mode, that you would be willing to play PvE more?
No.
Well, for me, yes.
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 Yep.
Because those who get to experience it in the closed beta, there was a difficulty higher than hard, and it was nothing but officers. You had nothing but yellow targets.
Yeah. And that's
If
also,
you did not work together as a team, you would get annihilated.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. If you add things to it that makes you want to win, surely. And I understand Fesh, but Fesh is saying the same with PvP. You want to win. You want to. If you see the other guys on the opposite a team, and also by accident are from the clan. How do you say that? Exclamation mark. Of course, you want to win, and that kind of sportive and yeah, how do you say that in English? Competitive, exactly. Mode is needed, or else people would simply leave the game for what it is. And that's the same in PvE. If you play in PvE and you try to really get the highest damage rolls and the highest scores, and you know, that's also a competitive way to simply play in PvE and also learn to play and to use it in PvP. I see it as a training, yeah, like luxury training room for people. And some people like only PvE, because I also know them, and there are also people who like both, like me.
So we're way over the 30-minute mark.
Whoa.
I would ask what our audience thinks of the things we've discussed today: the new missile mechanics, the new way AFVs work, the VBR. We also have discussed PvE versus PvP and how people feel about it, and how people feel that we should deal with positive behavior, like how we should find new ways to encourage it, as opposed to just how to deal with the toxic trolls.
True.
So, from my house to yours, this has been Fiora and my lovely guests, if they would like to sound off.
Ciao from Germany. Ciao, says Fesh.
License Freddy says, talk to you soon, guys.
Been talking. Hope to see you guys soon.
From the land of social democracy, stiff upper lips, and an apparent fondness for hot drinks, this has been Spitfire.
Oh well.